Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. If you're new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I make videos about homeschool, lifestyle, travel, all different kinds of things that just are going on in our lives. So if you like videos like that, make sure you subscribe. So today's video is going to be a recap of February as well as a small look into what we have planned for March. I'm going to start with personal stuff, make my way to the homeschool stuff at the end. But first off, I had my hopefully last for a while dermatologist appointment. I'm just cleared for most of all of the skin issues I've been having with my face, obviously continuing to just moisturize and everything, but I should be mostly done with the prescription medications, so I'm just really happy about that. It has been a long journey with my skin, so I am just hoping that chapter is behind me for a while. Another awesome thing is I finally reached a point of 4 days a week of bar. So my workout of choice is bar at a Bar3 studio near me, and I love it. I normally go to the early morning classes, so I wake up at about 5 so that I can make it to the 6 a.m. classes. And for a little bit, it was just really hard to make it. We just had a lot of different things going on. So I'm finally at the point where I am just regularly being able to get there 4 days a week. And that really means so much. But I've also just made sure to have some things in the home so that if I'm not able to make it, there are other things I can do. And also just I can add some things on top of what I'm already doing. So one of the things we got in February was a walking pad. I really wanted something that I could just easily walk along, watch a show, and just kind of feel like I'm passing the time easily, but still getting in a workout. And we have had our exercise bike in the garage since we moved into the house. It just hasn't made it down to the basement. And so one of the things that got checked off the list was cleaning that off and getting it down into the basement. I'm just really excited that I now have a few different options of different things that I can do at home for working out, and that is just something that I really enjoy. I love working out, and I do prefer to do it in the mornings while everyone else is asleep. I can just get it out of the way, and then it's not an interruption of the day, or it's not trying to figure out when I'm gonna get it done. So I'm just really happy that all of that is kind of figured out within my schedule. I just feel a million times better when I've started my day with a workout. The other new thing that I'm loving is this tablet. I actually have a Google Pixel for my phone, and so it was really nice to also just get a Google tablet. Evan actually got it for me for Valentine's Day. I had been saying that I needed something because generally I love digital curriculum. I love when I don't have to print out a teacher guide or use a big book or binder or anything like that. But the problem is I had my Surface tablet for a really long time and it just wasn't working very well anymore. So I have been using my phone for the longest time, and some of this curriculum is really wordy, and just having it on such a tiny screen and reading it has been difficult. Like, I just haven't enjoyed it. And so I'm so glad that I have this now, because this is super helpful. I've just been using it every day in our homeschool, and then it's also just my personal tablet, so that's nice to have. All right, moving on to house stuff. It has been so good taking the time to slowly make this house feel like a home, make it feel like ours. We're just absolutely loving this space. I haven't really finished this area yet. I have like a shelf that I want to put here and some other spaces, but everything's really coming together. We ended up getting we got 2 new mirrors, we got some new art, 2 console tables, and an ottoman for the living room. And then outside of that, we got like decor things, but those were like the big things we purchased. So I'm just really excited with how our spaces are coming together. I will have a vlog up probably next week, and that'll kind of show some of the spaces that I'm talking about and some of the changes that we have made. Some of those changes being in the homeschool room, little updates there that have really made a big difference. We added a map. I've been wanting a map to put in between the 2 cabinets for the longest time. We finally added a map, and the sconces. I ordered the sconces months ago, and they've just been sitting in a box waiting for me to find like the perfect map setup before I got everything together. And I say I got, but Evan basically did most of that. And we also got a projector screen because I do use a projector for some of the videos we do in our homeschool. And we also got a new rug that I love. So that space has really come together. I think I will have a tour of our homeschool room up in the month of March. I'm absolutely loving that space. It is one of my favorite rooms in our house. All right, but moving on to homeschool stuff. If you watched my March plan with me, then you kind of know what is ahead for us in the month of March. But in February, Alani finished module 4 for math. So that was a lot of place value, adding and subtracting with 2-digit numbers. That is something that wasn't really difficult for her. Like, obviously she had to learn to do it, but it wasn't super difficult until we added in the word problems. Making sure that she was identifying within the word problem if she had 2 parts, if she had a part and a whole, what she needed to do with the numbers. And so it's just a whole different ballgame when you don't have the numbers laid out exactly how you should solve them. And that is something that we had to do extra practice with for her to really feel confident with the word problems. So we actually finished module 4, but I planned in my March video that we were starting module 5 in March because I did just take extra time before jumping into the next module for us to do additional practice with word problems. The next module isn't completely related. It's shapes and then kind of the beginning of reading a clock. So I want to make sure that I am still also continuing to do word problem practice while she is learning those newer skills. But that's gonna be a quick module. It's only gonna take us those 2 weeks. And then after that, we are in the final module for math, which I can't even believe. This year is just going by so quickly. But Alani's really doing well with it. We don't always get to Zern every day. So I did go in and just adjust her account because I want her to get more practice in what we were doing with place value. So she was still on module 2 on Zern, and I just bumped her up to module 4 because I really want her practicing the skills that she just learned. Another thing we finished was Core Knowledge Language Arts Early World Civilizations. And I feel like I learned a big lesson with that. It was the longest domain that we have all year for Core Knowledge Language Arts. And I really think that at that pausing point when we had stopped learning about Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt, and before we had gone into learning about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, I really should have just done the assessment for the first part. I feel like waiting all the way until the end to do the assessments for both of those parts just made it a little more confusing for her because that was a lot of information to remember. If you are using Core Knowledge Language Arts or you're planning to for the next year, that pausing point between those 2 areas I think is a really good time to just do the assessment. If you use the assessments, I like doing them. I think it's good to get practice with test taking. I make it very low stakes, but I just do think that those are very good skills to learn. Outside of a small math book that Emmy has with different activities, she is mostly using Kindergarten Zern. So she just finished 2D and 3D shapes on that and will be going into measurement. So that'll be comparison of length, weight, and capacity as well as numbers to 10. I know this was one of the favorites. The shapes and the measurement were Alani's 2 favorites. I think Emmy's gonna really enjoy this module. And even though the Zern does have like the student notes where you can print it out, I have just now started to do that every once in a while. I have not focused very hard on handwriting or any of that stuff. And even though it's super minimal writing for Kindergarten Zern, I just never really printed them, but I have started doing it more. And I think that I'm gonna continue doing that moving into March. And I did start doing a little more from playing preschool with Emmy, and she's really enjoyed that. I knew she would. I loved it with Alani, and we have done some of it before. So she is familiar with it, but she absolutely loves like the poems and the songs, and I want to make sure that we are doing that more often because that is something that I feel like has fallen away a little bit. Like, we haven't been doing our circle time board and all of that, and I really do want to get back into doing all of those things with Emmy. I would love to know if you sign your homeschoolers up for camp. I love camps. I think that they are so great. I was so excited when Alani was finally of the age that she could start going to camps. And February for us was a big month for signing up for camps. Normally the girls also go to camp at our church, but our church did announce that they're not going to be holding a camp this year, which is a really big bummer because Evan normally volunteers and my brother volunteers and the girls are in their group and everything. So it's normally a really special thing. But I did find a lot of other things for Alani to do. She is going to be doing dance camp again, which is something she did last year, and she really enjoyed it. So she's going to do that again this year. She's also going to be doing tennis camp. Alani has been doing tennis and soccer, as well as sometimes doing her rock climbing classes. And in the fall, she also did theater. So she's really been enjoying tennis. That's been a newer thing. And I think that she's going to love the tennis camp because when she is done practice, she's always upset that it's not longer. Another camp she's going to be doing is a baking camp, which I think is going to be so much fun for her. I've been waiting to be able to sign her up for some sort of like cooking, baking camp, but so many of them are 7 and up, so she will be finally able to do that. And I'm, again, super excited that she can do that. And then the last one, which both girls are going to be doing, is a theater camp. As I mentioned, Alani did theater in the fall, and both girls are going to be doing theater in the spring. It actually will be starting very soon. So I'm gonna see how Emmy does. This will be her first time doing it, and that'll actually determine whether or not Emmy does it in the summer as well. But I'm hoping Emmy enjoys it because that's honestly the only camp that I was able to sign her up for in the summer. It's just the timing of Alani's camps make it difficult to drop off and pick up Emmy at the same time because the camps Alani's doing, Emmy's not old enough for, and the times are just the same for drop off and pick up. So unfortunately, Emmy's not going to be doing a lot of camps this summer, but she's only 4. So next year, a lot more camps are going to be opening up for her since she'll be 5. But it always feels so crazy, like in February, thinking and just planning out our summer basically, because that's just when all the camp signups are. That is gonna be it for this video though. That is what we were up to in February and a little peek into what we are going to be doing for March. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. Every time you like, comment, share, it really helps my channel grow. So I truly appreciate it. And I'm really loving this kind of community that is being built through this. It can definitely get a little lonely sometimes. We don't belong to like a co-op or anything like that. I just haven't found the right group for us yet. And so the different people that I'm able to talk to on YouTube and Instagram and just get different ideas from, it's just instrumental in how we are navigating our homeschool. And I just appreciate everyone who has helped us through all of this. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.